All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Damian Gary Realty Group. Today's episode, we're going to go over the 20 do's and don'ts for new realtors coming into the game. So go ahead, grab your notepad, grab your refreshment, and let's go ahead and get to work. All right, so obviously, everyone that's coming into the industry, there's a lot of things that you may know, and there's a lot of things that you really may not know. And that's the part of having the growing pains in our industry, is just understanding what the proper etiquettes are, what you should do versus what you shouldn't do. There's a lot of things that we do in our industry that, we could have done better. And it's better that you're here watching this video so you can learn first time around without having to actually go through any type of negativity here. So I'm going to go over the do's first, and then I'm going to go over the don'ts, okay? So let's go ahead and start with the do's. One of the do's is going to be highlighting key features, okay? So this is going to be such as highlighting key features of a property, for example. Now, this is very big because you want to clearly showcase any type of features or like that are special to the actual property. So, for example, if the inside of the house is kind of outdated, but it's got a big backyard and a really nice pool, then you want to highlight that. It's got a big yard, big pool, as well as an amazing mountainous view of out of the backyard. That's great. So you're always going to want to find some of the key features in the house that you're selling, or that that you might be sending to your buyer for them to check it out, and then you can kind of go through all that. So another one is going to be professional photography. Now, this is actually a really big one. I didn't think that it was that big of a deal whenever I first got in this, because I thought, well, pictures are pictures are pictures. Wrong. You couldn't be more wrong, okay? The big thing here is that pictures are so big. It's like debatably the biggest thing out of this entire listing. Like, y'all, as a listing agent, it is an absolute must for you to use professional photography. If you go ahead and use your phone to take the pictures, don't expect to get really great results, okay? I know there's a lot of people out there that will tell you differently, but take my advice on this, okay? Please. As if you're coming to these videos as and seeing me as a mentor, great. Take my advice. Use professional photography. This will help your listing in the long run, especially if you're a listing agent. The professional photography really goes into the listings, but using professional photography for your pictures that you're building as a brand is another big thing to do. So make sure that you don't listen to other people that are telling you, don't waste your money on that stuff. It's well worth the money. Promise you. I promise. Okay, the third is going to be accurate descriptions, okay? Now, I cannot tell you how many times so far I have gone through different listing agents' listings, and it's nothing of what the house actually is, okay? Now, I know for a fact that there's some people out there that are using ChatGPT, but they're not using it in the way that it should be used, okay? So pretty much what is happening is that they're saying, okay, ChatGPT, make me this property description. Here's the address. Here's some of the features. And then they just hit send, and then they just copy paste and put that description in there without actually reading it. I've seen so many distressed houses that say this is a beautiful home, blah, 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 blah. Whenever it's a hoarder home, it's boarded up, broken windows. It looks terrible. Like, literally, it looks horrendous. And that's the thing, is like you as a listing agent, even as finding a new property for your investors or buyers in general, you want to make sure that you are being able to conjure up, procure the accurate descriptions for your listing. Okay. Also, whenever you send it to the property that is to your investor, you want to make sure that you're hitting all of these proper things that's in the parameters of where they want to be in. So it's a big deal. Okay. 4 is going to be clear and concise headlines. Okay. Now, this you can go ahead. This is kind of going over to kind of clickbait. So let's say if you're putting it out on a video, right, of the property. Let's say you hired a professional photographer and they've put out a video for you and you have it on your YouTube channel. Go ahead and have some really like eye-catching headlines that, again, you can use ChatGPT to make for you if you don't want to feel very inventive or original. It can really help you there, save some time. So, but clear and concise headlines for advertising purposes is a very big deal as well. But this is all going to be really towards the listings, and you can kind of put this towards building your own brand. Just transfer it whichever way you see fit, honestly. Number 5 is going to be include all relevant details. This is going to be your bedrooms, your bathrooms, your square footage, the lot size, any type of updates or renovations, like upgrades to the property, any types of renovations that you've had. Maybe you've put in maybe the seller put in a new concrete pad and like a pergola and all this stuff. Like there's these things that really need to take place. So make sure that all of that is included. So whenever you go out to your listings, I've had people tell me straight up, like this, I can't make this up. People have literally told me, well, you should be a good enough realtor that you don't need to come see me in person. Well, seller, that's absolutely false. It's a requirement for me to come to you and see you in person. So number 1, you can meet me. Number 2, I can meet your house and you can give me a tour and show me the quirks of the house that I do not know, or the MLS doesn't know, or just the data online doesn't know. Because this happens more than you will think, okay? That the sellers believe that you should be able to sell yourself without ever having seen the property in person. You need to go see the property. You need to see what the quirks are. I've been to properties so far that the house is bigger than what it shows online data. Literally, it's a big deal. So if it's like 300 square foot bigger, you need to be able to know that. That's a big deal. So understanding all relevant details is very big, okay? And this is including, again, your renovations as well. Number 6 is going to be local amenities, okay? So this is going to be like your schools, your hospitals, your parks, your soccer fields, baseball fields, recreational things for fun, any shopping around. Or are you like in Anza, California, to where you're just out in the mountainous countryside, to where there's not really anything to do other than ride horses and maybe do some motorsports out there. But that's pretty much it. Most people go out that way. I don't want to go off topic here, but this will be the end of that one, that most people go out to Anza for a retreat, much like a Palm Springs or Palm Desert or Coachella Valley. Go out for a retreat. So if any of you are interested in that, I do have some stuff going on out there that I'm aware of, that I'm connected with, that they're selling multi-million-dollar homes out there and all that stuff. So if you're interested, go ahead, hit me up at my email below. Number 7 is going to be a clear call to action. Okay. So this is going to be in your CRMLS. If you're here in California, you need to go ahead and how are you going to do your schedule your viewings, huh? Oh yeah. Are you going to go through Showing Time app? Showing Time is a virtual way for us, like any professional in the industry, agent or realtor that is, to go into Showing Time app and actually book a virtual appointment, like literally through our phones. We get dinged that, hey, we got this person, Kimberly, we've got this person, Patrick, we've got this person, John, that's going to look at the house. And you have their specific parameters on how long they're going to be there and everything. And they can even give feedback on the house as well, which is really convenient. Or is it going to be a go direct to where you don't even have to book an appointment? You just go because it's a vacant house. have the clear call to action in your private remarks, because the private remarks is where the agent or realtor is going to be able to see that, which is going to give them the proper showing instructions. So how they're going to show their buyers the property. Big deal. Now, using keywords, okay? Now, this is a big deal as well, because when you use keywords, this is a way for you to generate traffic organically, but also as a realtor specifically. And I say realtor, everyone, so many times in my videos because that's what I am. I'm not just an agent. I'm a realtor. I'm a step above that. And as you can see through my videos, I'm not your cookie cutter realtor by any means. So whenever I, as a realtor, put it in my CRMLS, it gets picked up, my listings that is, gets picked up by at least 30 to 40 different different property sites that most people don't have access to. It automatically does that. So this is a selling point, okay? If y'all didn't know this already. If you have a seller that is, let's say a FSBO, for example, that doesn't see the value in you giving the service to them, they need to understand that because they are not licensed by the state, that limits them on the amount of marketing that they can really realistically do, okay? So you need to be able to educate them. It's all about educating at this point, okay? Setting proper expectations. This is going to be another one. But making sure that they understand, because there's going to be, especially FSBOs, I shit y'all not, FSBOs are the number one people that will tell you that your service is not worth the money that they're going to pay you, because they just think that they could do everything better than you. But you need to make sure that you inform them properly that, hey, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, I am here to help you sell your home in record time and for more money than what you're hoping for. So again, that's a big deal. But using keywords in the listings is another very big deal. If someone's looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath with a pool and all this, blah, 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 you need to be able to have that in the listing. Virtual tours, okay? This is a big deal too, because like I see it more times than not on, I see it from wholesalers mainly from wholesalers or luxury listings, okay? Luxury listings, I say, if you go into that side of the business, definitely do the virtual tours, because it allows for the audience, the buyers, to really see, to be able to really see the property on their own time. Now, with luxury listings, you're talking $20+ million homes, okay? Now, with that being said, these people usually don't have time to go to the actual property and see the properties themselves. So what's going to happen here? What's going to happen is that the virtual tours will come into play. The buyers will be able to see exactly what's going on with the property and go from there and give their buyer's agents the address to go see the property. Hey, Brad, go ahead and take a look at this property, make sure that it fits everything for my family and I, and then go from there. You can use virtual tours pretty good in your listings in general. It definitely does give you a little bit of an edge to show people that this goes against the totally aside from the luxury side of things. Just as your regular buyer, a lot of people that are on the investor side too, they don't have the time to go to the places. So once again, just like the luxury, the investors can be the same thing. You need to be able to show it. It's not a must, but it's definitely something to do in time. Like within your first year, I would say to go ahead and implement the virtual tours. You can find cameras for $200-$300. If you hire a photographer, they do include this as well sometimes, not all the time. You just have to find the photographer that will do it. Unless you want to be the one that does it, then great. But it'll just save you a lot of time if you don't, if you hire someone to do it for you. It'll just save you that much more time. Now, mobile optimization, okay? So this is just making sure that your listings are mobile friendly, to where you can see it on your phone. It's easy to find, especially with EXP realtors such as myself. It is really good for us to be able to show on our KV Core that we can literally copy and paste a link from our KV Core listings and literally send that link to a prospective buyer that's like interested in the listing. That's perfect. You need to be able to show that very easily. Nowadays, it is all about convenience. If you don't have convenience, what do you have at the end of the day? You know, that's just how it goes. Promoting on multiple platforms, okay? So you need to be able to share the listings, but the good thing as a realtor is that your listings will automatically be picked up by, like I said earlier, about 30 to 40 at least property sites. There's sites that I didn't even know about that even existed, that do exist, that my properties literally showed up on. And that gets you an amazing amount of traffic and viewership. That's what you want. As a listing agent, you need to be a master marketer. Seriously, it's a big deal. But also, you need to be able to, like, for the sites that that are not going to get picked up, like Instagram, Facebook, all this stuff, all of those other things, you need to be able to post up the link from the KV Core. Or if you're not with EXP, then you need to make a video or something to put up as a link on Facebook and all of your other social media handles. It's a big deal. Now, your floor plans, okay? So this will be good to show exactly the feet of the living room, bathroom, kitchen, blah, 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 to be able to show an overlaid map of the actual the floor plan of the house. So this will ensure the buyers that they know what type of furniture they can put into the house. Let's say if it's an investor, they're wanting to have it as an investment property. Well, they're going to put in stuff. They're going to put in some cheap furniture in there anyways, to make sure that, they can have someone properly be in there. They can maybe do a value add, which is increase the rent a little bit because of how nice it is and all that stuff. So it just helps out your buyers a bit more to understand. Honesty is our next one. Honesty is a big deal because, if there's any kinks of the property that the home inspector can't find, then, I've just find it in my best nature to be upfront about those things. So the new owner is going to understand these things because, for my house, for example, my office in the summertime, like right now, I think it's like 105 outside and it gets really hot in my office. So that's why I have fans going on. But we already knew this from the previous homeowners that told me this straight up, that the rooms on the side of the house, they get pretty hot in the later days. So we understood that and we made the necessary changes. But the big thing is that you want to make sure that people are upfront with you about these things as well. So just honesty is a big deal. Number 14 is going to be highlighting unique selling points. So like I said earlier, this is going to be emphasizing different unique qualities about the property. So is it a Spanish build? Do you have views? Do you have a pool? Do you have, do you have a media room? Do you have a really legitimate office space? Do you have an awesome kitchen? Do you have a gym? Are you going to keep a gym in there? In the garage, for example, did you make a sauna? What did you do to make this house a bit more, like pop a little bit more than what you had it? Did you redo the backyard? Like, these are things that you need to showcase. It's a big selling point. Number 15 here is going to be professional staging. Now, I have not had to do this, so it's definitely personal preference on this one. But I would definitely suggest that if you have a bare home, but it looks really good on the inside, I would suggest, why not going the extra mile? You have the listing, especially if you're going to make, I don't know, 50 grand on the listing or more, then it's you owe it to the listing because okay, so you have to understand something here, y'all. When a seller hires you to sell their property, and if it's a bare, really good looking property, but there's nothing in it, then you should showcase what you can do with the property. You don't always have to have it bare. I personally like to have it bare just so people can see what they're working with. But if you have a professional staging company come through, then that's going to be showing what like the imagination will be able to let loose from other buyers, because they'll be able to see like if they did it this way, then how good that's going to look. So you don't need to. I suggest it's a personal preference, but it is what it is. Now, engaging with comments, okay? So if once you put your listing on your social media handles, people are going to comment on it, okay? You want to be able to engage with those people, because what can happen, just like an open house, pretty much the same thing goes online. It's just a virtual open house. These people will make comments and engage with those people, because you never know. Those people that you're commenting with could very well be your next buyers. So make sure you have that in there. Testimonials and reviews. This is a huge deal, especially to make yourself as an authoritative figure in our industry, okay? You want to have reviews. Now, I've sent review requests to escrow companies, to home inspectors, all of this stuff, okay? And a lot of times I don't get anything back. Am I upset about it? It is what it is. But at least I tried. At least I did put it out there. But, I'm in the fan base of leaving reviews for people. Especially if you're like us, if you're a realtor, you're a small business. So you need to have those reviews. It's really going to make you stand out from everybody else. And if you're a brokerage like myself that has a team, which I don't have a team of agents, it's me and my other team, which is to get deals done. But if you have a team of people, then you're more than likely hounding the hell out of them to get your reviews. So if you work for a team, then yes, it's going to be imperative that you get reviews for your team, because that's how they're going to thrive. If you're a solo agent like myself that has your own brokerage and everything, then you definitely want to make sure that you've got those testimonials, that you've got those reviews. Testimonials can be videos as well. It's a great thing. Videos hold so much more dominance than just a picture or just your text. It's a big deal. Trust me, very big. Now, regular updates, okay? So regular updates as in, is your property in pending status? Meaning, are you in a current escrow? Did you get back on the market? Meaning that you got out, you fell out of escrow with a buyer and now you're back on the market. Or did you have a price increase or a price drop? Did you, what happened with the whole thing? Like, these are things that you need to update on the CRMLS as well. So people, like the buyer agents, can understand, hey, we saw this property. This happened to me already. This property was in escrow. Now it's out of escrow. Now you can go back with your offer and try to get something going. Maybe, I don't know, like that's pretty much how that whole thing goes. So you can probably have a three-peat offer, and hopefully on your third time of putting the offer in, then you get accepted. So who knows? But that's just kind of how that goes. Market analysis, our 19th due. So market analysis will be your comparative market analysis, okay? So this is crucial, everyone. So crucial, I can't even explain. So basically it goes like this. I'm going to explain it. So market analysis will give you what you need to set the price of the home at and within a 5-mile radius or less, okay? So this is a very big deal, because if you have the price of the house too high, then you're going to scare people off and no one's going to make an offer on the property, and it's going to underperform. Now, if you have the price too low, then people are still going to get scared away, because now they think that there's something wrong with the house. And also your client is not going to be too happy as well, because they are already wanting top dollar for the property, obviously. And so your job is to make sure that you do get top dollar, but within reason. So as long as, let's say, if you can make a bidding war happen, great. For those of you who know how to do it, great. If you don't know how to, great. Get with your mentor. But providing that market analysis to the sellers is crucial so they can understand exactly what is in their vicinity that has sold, how long it was on the market for, if it was a 2-bedroom, 3-bed, like a 3-bed, 2-bath, or a 4-bedroom, 1-bath. You have to differentiate these things. You cannot compare a 3-bed, 2-bath to a 4-bed, 2-bath. It doesn't make sense, especially if one has a 2-car garage and one has a 1-car garage. Again, it doesn't make sense. That is not a proper comp. So for all of those out there, of my colleagues, that if any of you are doing that, please stop, because all you're doing is trying to inflate the house price for no reason on shitty comps. That's the way that it goes. You cannot, once again, compare a 4-bedroom, 1-bath, or 4-bedroom, 2-bath to a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or anything like that. It doesn't make sense. Even like a 1-car versus a 3-car garage, or a pool in the backyard versus no pool in the backyard. Like that, you have to, this is just another thing. So that's just kind of how that goes. I will digress, but that's how it goes. Number 20 is going to be follow up, okay? So you've done so much work with interviewing your prospects for the sellers, right? And at this point, they've told you, hey, Damian, I want to wait for a couple weeks, that we're not in a rush to sell the property, but hey, we are wanting to sell the property, but we're not in a rush. And so that's kind of like their takeaway, because they're trying to make sure that you understand that, they don't need to sell, but they want to sell, but they're not trying to sell for little bits of money here and there. So what you need to do is put in your calendar, in your phone, because we always have these on us. Make sure that you have a reminder. Set a time. Seriously, set a time for what they said on that exact moment, or go ahead and put it on this flashcard or a piece of paper or something. So after the phone call, you can go back to your device, plug it in. So now you're going to be reminded. If you have an ADD, ADHD mindset like myself, then you're going to forget more than likely. So this is a way you keep yourself reminded. It's super important. Following up with your prospects, especially after you've done all this work, is such a big deal. And even after you get the property, after you get that listing, make sure that you're being communicative with your person, with your client. It's a big deal. The worst thing you can do is get a property and then not talk with your client at all. That's the worst thing that you can possibly do. Especially, it's kind of different if it's a land deal, because land deals, especially here in California, they take a long time to sell. And especially if you're doing everything you can, like, no news is in my eyes, it's okay. It's very night and day different for a house. For a house, you should be able to sell the house within 30 days or less. For sure. Even in today's market of September 29th, 2023, you should absolutely be able to sell a property within 30 days or less, as long as you've pretty much followed everything here. The biggest thing for that one is going to be your CMA. That's going to be a very big deal, as well as your professional images and your property descriptions. That's a big deal. Seriously, it's huge. So also, the 21st thing that I've added here is going to be setting proper expectations, okay? I cannot stress this enough. This is probably the biggest topic of discussion I have daily with my colleagues, okay? Across the country, okay? I shit you guys not. If you get a client, okay? If you get a client, whether it's a buyer or a seller, it doesn't matter, okay? Even an investor, I go through this stuff with my investors all the time. Setting proper expectations is everything. Just because you don't have any deals doesn't mean you should be desperate about anything, okay? What you need to do is set proper expectations with your clients, okay? Meaning sellers, okay? If you are representing a seller, that is, you need to be upfront about the fact that you're the professional, not them. If they were the professional, they would not be hiring you, okay? Also, the CMA will come into play. You ask them how much do they want for the house. They will tell you a number. If that number does not coincide with your CMA that you should have done before this conversation started, then You need to tell them, look, John, your taste for your property is a bit too much. You're not going to be able to get that. What I can suggest for you, and make your suggestion. We start low and then we end up high. We don't start high and then end up higher. It doesn't make any sense. So that, again, setting proper expectations is just everything. Especially if you have a distressed property and they're wanting top dollar for it, like fair market value for a shit property. You need to be the one to tell them, look, your property is this. You're going to get this for it. Expect a lot of cash offers, because you're not going to get what you're asking for. I can take it on, but you can have in the listing agreement that if the property does not perform the way it's supposed to within the first 7 days, then you need to change that price. Again, set proper expectations. Now we're going to go on with the don'ts. Okay, misleading photos. I go through this constantly. Exaggerating the claims. Let's say that let's say a pool is cleaned up and everything and it's filled with algae. Incomplete information, saying that you've got more bathrooms than you do. Overpricing. Literally, this is the number one thing that I go through daily. Ignoring feedback. Seriously, people that put in negative feedback, don't ignore it. Tell your clients, hey, this is what the feedback is. The best thing that you can do is tell them so they can try to correct it if that's what they want to do. Neglecting social media, okay? This is an even bigger deal, especially you trying to promote your brand, trying to promote the listing. It's just going to hurt you in the end. Overloading with information, okay? Oh my God, you can't overload people with too much information, especially buyers, okay? They're going to figure out things out on their own, especially whenever they go to the properties. They're going to figure it out. Ignoring local market trends, okay? You need to figure this stuff out. With ignoring the local market trends will be having outdated pricing strategies. What happened last year is not going to be what it is today. Every single time I go through this, it's so aggravating. Like, why do people think that, like, it just doesn't make sense? Like, it does not make sense to use pricing as of last year and use it for this year because everything was different last year. It just doesn't make any sense. So again, you have to be the pace setter for these deals, realtors. Neglecting any type of updates. So if let's say that you have a property listing and there's no electricity, then you have that in the property description. Well, let's say that you did not put that in the property description and someone tells you, hey, Damian, your property does not have any electricity. Then you act surprised. Well, that doesn't make any sense because you should have understood that at the time of the listing, or vice versa. If you had the electricity on and then it went out whenever there was someone there, then that creates a danger. So it's a big deal. Also, if someone's telling you that there's squatters on the property, you need to do the proper response and take that off of the market. Do something to warn people that, hey, it's probably unsafe for you to go to the property. Like, sincerely. I've had that happen. I have a video on that too. And number 10 is going to be incomplete contact information. I see this. You'd be surprised, everyone, of how often I go through this, that I actually have to click on the person's name in order to populate all of their brokerage information, including their contact info, their literal phone number. You'd be surprised of how often this happens. Lots of people, they leave out their phone number and they only put in their email. Doesn't make any type of sense. I'm the type of guy that I will go into I'll go over a phone call and literally call these people and have a conversation. I'm in the firm belief that you get way more done on a phone call than you ever will with a text message or an email. So make sure that you're calling people so you can get your point across properly. So really, you guys, by following all these do's and don'ts is going to set you like years ahead of every other colleague in our industry. That is a promise, because there's a lot of people that don't have too much attention to detail, like, unfortunately, like I do. And that's literally what does separate us, the sharks, from the minnows. You want to be a shark in the industry, the reasonable shark, not the one that's going to screw people over, because that just goes against every being of why we're in the industry to begin with, right? So you want to make sure that you do sharpen your blades here, that you do come at it with full ownership, like, because you're a business owner, you need to come to it with that approach. You need to be professional. You need to, be very clear with everything. So just make sure that you're doing all these things, because it's really going to help you in the end result, whether it's buyers, sellers, investors, doesn't matter. It's going to help you all over the place. So with that being said, make sure you share this video. Make sure you like it if I've helped you out today, which I'm sure I have. Also, subscribe to the video so you don't miss out on any more future content. This is the type of stuff that I'm coming out with, y'all. So come on with it. Let's go. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.